Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. I just wanted to kind of bring you up to date what was going on in Maui. I'm going to show you what the mayor of Maui County released today as of August 21st. I've been a disaster volunteer for the American Red Cross for 20 years, and when there's big disasters like this, a call goes out to Red Cross volunteers all over the country to go help. This happens on the big hurricanes like Hurricane Ian. And I mean, anytime there's big incidents like this, Red Cross volunteers from all over the country are asked, and they show up. And I was asked, I volunteered because I have friends on Maui. I was just in Maui in April doing shows at the playground. And I've lived in Hawaii for 2 years, and, you know, my heart went out to everybody there. So I went there as a Red Cross volunteer, and it was pretty awful. Some of we didn't get to see. I was working at a shelter at the War Memorial in Kahului, which is the main city on Maui. And just to give you kind of an overview of the state of Hawaii, there's 8 islands. The 4 major islands are Oahu, which is the capital. That's where the city of Honolulu is and where Waikiki Beach is. The island of Oahu is the capital of the state government. And it's also the most populated island. It has like somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.3 million people or so. Then the next populated island is the island of Hawaii, which is the biggest island geographically, so it's nicknamed the Big Island, and that has about 170,000 people on it. And then next is Maui, which has about 120,000 people. And then after that is Kauai, which has about 68 or 70,000 people. And then there's 4 smaller islands: Molokai, Lanai, Ko'olave, and Niihau. And so the way you're going to see from the county, the way, just to give you just sort of how it's broken down in Hawaii, because it's unlike any other state in the US. It's a series of islands. So each island is considered a county, and then that county or that island has a mayor of that island who runs the county. So there's the state government, and then the island has the county government. And then some of the cities on the islands have their own like city governments. So it was what happened. The fire, Lahaina is on the upper north west side of the island, and there's only really one road in and out of Lahaina, and it's a town that has been there a long time, and it has a lot of old plantation housing, the sugar plantations from the 1800s, so a lot of wood buildings. And also that side of the island doesn't get a lot of rainfall. But it also should be noted that in the 1800s, as late as the 1800s, Lahaina apparently was wetlands. And then the sugar barons started taking the water away from Lahaina. And this is a big issue. And this is, and now today you've got the big resorts taking away the water, and that's why that side of the island was really dry. And Maui has had a lot of drought. So the windward side, which is the east side of the island, usually gets more rainfall. So that side is lush. And then the what's called the leeward side, or west side of Maui, was pretty dry. So when the fire started kind of at the top of the hill, and this was going down into the Lahaina, the winds came over and then basically blew the fire down the hill at 80 miles an hour. Is pretty awful. So a bunch of homes have been lost, a bunch of lives have been lost, and a bunch of people are still being looked for. And there's government agencies. And what was the most impressive thing to me? I've worked shelters all throughout California for 20 years, and some throughout other parts of the country. And every community, when there's a disaster, comes together. But the level of community support on Maui was unreal. It is the aloha spirit. And, you know, people were so nice and helping each other out. And because it's an island, everybody kind of knows each other. It's like a small town. and people have been living there for generations, especially in Lahaina. And so the outpouring of support was, you know, it's and you know, people were like, you volunteered, you Red Cross people came. I was like, yeah, I flew here from LA, from the mainland, and they were like thanking me and stuff. It was pretty emotional, and it was a positive thing to see in a really awful situation. But this is just currently from the mayor of Maui County. He's giving an update, and this is as of, again, August 21st. He released that this morning. So this will give you an idea what's happening and this is going to take a long time. This rebuild of this island is going to take a long time, but this is straight. Rather than me give you updates on information, I'll just play this video.
Of many daily reports where I will provide aloha. Today is the first of many daily reports where I will provide updates on the number of missing persons. Early and throughout the duration of the disaster, friends and family have been providing the American Red Cross, the FBI Honolulu, the Maui Police Department, and the Emergency Management Agency names of the unaccounted individuals relating to the Lahaina wildfires. Recently, these lists were combined and refined by the FBI. This is a thorough and time-consuming process. I want to get this information out, and it is my sad duty to report that 114 individuals have been confirmed deceased. 27 individuals have been identified, and 11 families have been notified. The FBI and Maui County Coroner are working together to identify all the recovered remains. There are currently 850 names on the list of missing persons. There is positive news in this number, because when this process began, the missing person list contained over 2,000 names. Through the tireless work of the FBI and the Maui Police Department, over 1,285 individuals have been located safe. We are both saddened and relieved about these numbers as we continue the recovery process. The number identified will rise and the number of missing may decrease, but there will be daily fluctuations in the numbers as family members are added and removed from the list. But I need your help. If you have an immediate family member unaccounted for because of the Lahaina wildfires, and you wish to provide a DNA sample to assist, please go to the Family Assistance Center at Hyatt Regency Kaanapali between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. daily to provide your DNA sample. For those on the neighbor islands or the continental U.S., you can call the FBI at 808-566-4300. Again, that's 808-566-4300 to arrange to provide a DNA sample. On Tuesday, August 22nd, I will hold a press conference. Normally, questions are from media representatives, but I would like the public to email questions as well. I invite the public to email questions to my office at community@mauicounty.gov. Again, that's community@mauicounty.gov. I will do my best to respond to your questions. Our lives have changed forever, and things will not be the same. What will be the same is the way we care for each other as we grieve and go through this together. Mahalo and malama pono.
So there is the mayor of Maui County, and that number's put up there. So I don't know if you know anybody who has family that's still on account of Maui, either a Maui resident or someone that was there on vacation, that's the information that to get DNA samples. So one of the things the Red Cross does at any shelter, and this was the case too on Maui, is any person staying in the shelter, they registered. And then when people would come to the shelter saying, is so-and-so here, we could check. This is why the Red Cross runs their shelters like they have a certain amount of rules and regulations, and this is part of it, is to help reunification. And I was a part of seeing some people reunify with their family members at the War Memorial Shelter, is the one I was working at. I had to come home after several days because I had a family emergency. But there's a lot of great people on Maui, locals, people from the outer islands, and people from the mainland helping, and agencies working. And as the mayor said, this is going to be a long process because the fire was so significant. It, cars were melted, homes were burned to the ground. And so identifying remains is really challenging. They've brought in basically what are called cadaver dogs to do this. And it's hard to identify people. So that's why they need DNA samples. There's a lot of great organizations to help. There's the Red Cross of Hawaii. There's the Maui Food Bank. But I think personally, they've got enough immediate supplies taken care of right now. And I think if you want to help, I think I would wait and maybe just put some money aside, because they're going to really need money with the rebuilding efforts. And first, it's going to take months to go through the city of Lahaina and identify people. And then there's going to be a whole rebuilding process. So I think this is going to probably take, I was talking to some Red Cross volunteers that responded to Hurricane Ian, which was the last really big one that the U.S. has had. We've had other big hurricanes, but that was a really significant one. And there were shelters set up for months. So it's going to take a year or so. It's a long process. First, there's the immediate relief, which is the immediate needs of people who were displaced in the days and following. And then there's, slowly getting people into recovery and then rebuild. And so the governor of Hawaii, Josh Green, issued a statement about a day ago, I think it was on Sunday, saying that over 1,800 people who were staying in the shelters are now in hotels, because most of the hotels are empty because the tourism business is pretty much non-existent there, which is another tough hit financially, because that's what sustains that island. Like it or not, that's the reality. And I think they've lost over 2,000 structures. But the fact that the number, when I was there on Monday, I flew back Monday, the number of missing was 1,000. And the fact that number is down because they've reunited people, and that's a good thing. So, and there was a lot of people wanting to sign up to be volunteers. And so I hope that, if there is to find a silver lining through an awful event like this, is that everyone's going to, unfortunately, the state of Hawaii has never had to be prepared for fires. They have some on the Big Island, but again, the Big Island is there's large portions of the Big Island that just aren't populated. And so I'm hoping then that what comes out of this is more preparedness, more disaster preparedness. And it's a testament to anybody. You should always have a disaster prepared kit in your car. Food, water, clothes for up to 3 days, because when disasters hit, it's chaos and it's hard. If you're isolated and, first responders can't get to you for whatever reason, geographics, the size of the incident, whatever, it's why you need to have a disaster kit. So go to redcross.org, and there's a whole Be Prepared tab on what you need to have in your car, no matter where you live. California, we really need them because we have fires and earthquakes that come quickly. And I think, you know, the lieutenant governor of Hawaii said that Hawaii's never had to be prepared for that. Hawaii's disasters are ones where you have lead time. Like a volcano, they move really slowly, so you know it's coming. You know you have time to evacuate. Same thing with a hurricane. The hurricane's gonna be here in a day or two, so you have time to prepare and get out of there. And floods, again, you know the storm's coming. You have a day or two to prepare, but a fire just hit quickly, and you know, it caught a lot of people off guard, unfortunately. So, but seeing everybody work together on that island and the help from all around the world that's pouring in, and the aloha spirit's a real thing. I always tell people when they say, Grandma, what's it like living in Hawaii? I say the aloha spirit is a very real thing. It is not a slogan for a t-shirt. It is a real thing, and it's really powerful and strong on Maui. And the fact that all of Hawaii is like coming together. There was a paddle out in Waikiki, which a paddle out is a surfer funeral where you paddle out and you get in the circle for the person and you talk about them, and then you put ashes in the middle and you throw flowers, and then everybody kind of splashes and celebrates. It's a tradition that actually started in Waikiki 100 years ago. So it's a Hawaiian surfer and way to, you know, to say goodbye. So they did that for everybody that was lost in Maui, and just for Maui in general, because Maui's in a lot of pain. So, yeah, be prepared. Go to redcross.org. Have a fire extinguisher in your car, have a disaster kit in your car, and, you know, there's a lot of great ways to support the people of Maui right now, and there will be ways and needs down the road to help support them. So if you're not in a position to now, there will be down the road a lot of ways to help, because they're going to need a lot. It's going to take a year or two to rebuild. And like the mayor said, that island has changed forever. So, but everybody working together is what'll get it fixed. So thanks for watching. Mahalo and aloha.